into positions of hopelessness and helplessness. The government gives them the drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America. No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America for treating us citizens as less than human. God damn America.
All right, we're good to go. 155. Jake, do you want to open the show?
Why the hell not?
Okay. What do you think about polio back in New York City?
Is this the show? Are we?
I mean, I'm recording. At any point, we could start.
Okay. What do I think about polio back in New York City? Is polio back in New York City, or are you asking me that as someone who is back in New York City?
If you were to find out that polio was all over the wastewater of our shit asses in New York City, meaning people are chock full of polio again, 1920s style, what would you say?
Okay, picture this. I'm a brittle old man. I'm sitting down in my wheelchair. I put on a pair of sunglasses and I go, New York is back.
That's right.
Polio's back, baby. Everyone sit down. Cover your damn legs with a nice warm blanket, because polio's back, baby.
Some accessories never die.
When you say that, I hear polio, like he's a po boy named Leo.
Polio.
Interesting.
Polio.
I hear the disease polio.
Polio here gonna play some blues music. You know?
Yeah, no, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Brings out the washer. Why'd you take your headphones?
They're not working. I don't hear anything.
You gotta finesse it. It's too late now.
It's fine.
We already have that great polio riff on the track. Just leave the headphones off. It's Pod Damn America.
Raw dogging it.
PDA's back, baby. I'm
Polio,
back.
damn America.
Polio, damn America.
Rebranding.
Name of the pod. Yeah, we're now a polio podcast.
We're not even we're trying to make the transition from podcast to viral disease.
And when people
Is
are
it
like,
viral?
yeah,
Is that how it works?
it
Not
is,
airborne.
it is.
Is it?
Viral. I believe
Okay.
so.
Sure.
You can only get it by kissing a handicapped person.
Yeah.
Leave that in.
We're keeping that. All right.
Keeping everything, baby, because it's back, because polio, damn America.
Leave that in.
Podcasts.
And then when people say your podcast isn't funny, you'll be like, it's about polio. It's not supposed to be funny.
It's very serious.
It's a public warning.
People love to listen to it and just think about polio. Socialist, niche, cultural critique, and so on. Hip Brooklyn podcasts are over. They're all about diseases now. We picked polio. Right. Somebody else is going to start the monkeypox one, probably do a lot better than us because it's more popular. But
it's more popular and it involves dating.
Yeah.
It's a classic dilemma. Do you want polio or do you want autism? Because that's the choice every parent of a young child faces.
Morpheus comes to you and he's like,
take the blue pills. End up with a train set.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's autism, right? Is when you're in the Matrix and you're flying and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it's like, right?
Andrews, I think you could agree, better this than polio, right?
I've never had it, but I mean, why not both, honestly?
You got to ride the ride before you review it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm vaccinated now for polio. I was not for tetanus, but now I got that covered.
I did check with my mom this morning just to be sure. I was like, it would be weird if I wasn't, but I am immune to polio, right? Just checking. Cool? Wait. Yes? All right. Never mind. It's not important why.
She's a doctor, right?
Yeah.
She's a good person.
She's really up on immunizing her children from polio.
We should have her on our polio podcast.
We absolutely should.
You know,
she should debate my mom about
dispel the myths. The mama. Podcasts are different now. They're about whose mom is on the show.
People love that when you have a parent on and they're like, what is this? I don't understand. Wait, okay, hold on though. I just literally got back in town yesterday. Is this a thing that happened?
No, it's happening for real though. There's polio in New York right now.
Oh man, goddamn.
Text your mother and she can join the show and we'll do 3 mothers.
That'd be funny. We have all our moms replace us one week.
Wow.
And she can mediate because it sounds like Andrews and my moms are kind of on opposite sides of this one.
I mean, I probably shouldn't have said that, but she has questions.
It's not a crime to have questions.
Okay, yeah, it is, yes. And it's not a crime to not vaccinate your child for a certain point.
Yeah,
as well.
Legally.
Legally. You should do it. which I ended up doing.
Maybe it should be a crime, possibly.
I mean, that's a
neither here nor there.
tricky topic. I am finally vaccinated. I actually did not fully get vaccinated until I got in a bike accident, and they were like, it was like 5 years ago. I got in a bike accident.
You're like, my leg is broken. Why are you? They're like, vaccinate this man quickly.
Yeah, well,
this is an anti-bike accident vaccine.
He was rammed onto a rusty spike, and they were like, "Oh shit, buddy."
Oh, that makes sense.
Well, no, my chin split open on a. I got doored basically, and my chin split open. I actually
Video of that on the Patreon for subscribers.
I tried. I was like, I'll be all right. I was bleeding, and I went to a bodega and ordered a sandwich, and they were like, you should go to the hospital, man. And
Were you like in shock?
I think so. Yeah, I was kind of in shock, and I didn't want to. I was like, I'll sleep it off, whatever.
That happened
But
to me
it
once.
was-
I twist my ankle real bad, and because you're in shock, you're like fine for like 20 minutes. This guy walked past me, saw me fly off my bike going over the fucking Williamsburg Bridge, and he was like, "You are going to be in an immense amount of pain in 10 minutes." I was like, "Shut up!" And then it totally happened.
Nerd.
Oof.
Some of us
Yeah.
can walk it off.
Well, I had to
I'm an
bike.
athlete.
I had to bike to the hospital, and then I had my sandwich, and
Right.
I was hungry, and I kept trying to eat my sandwich, and every time I would, because you're waiting there for hours on end, and every time I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a bite, and then the doctor would walk in right as I was taking a bite of the sandwich,
Yeah.
and he was like, okay, checklist, you're vaccinated, right? And I was like,
How about that?
yeah,
I have enough eccentricities as it is.
yeah, but I am fully vaxxed now.
That's great.
And my mom is pro-COVID vaccine, I should point out. She's extra vaxxed.
She's a great lady. She's
Yes.
ready for anything.
She likes that you're autistic. That's why she's pro-vaccine.
Yeah.
She believes that they make you autistic, but thinks it's a good thing.
Right.
She's a little freak for it in a way.
Uh-huh.
Because her baby boy brings home the maps or whatever.
I mean, yeah. I was into maps as a kid.
You know what? That was just a shot in the dark, too.
I was not good at them,
Good
but
guess.
it's funny because when we go on car trips, I would be the map guy, but then
Yeah.
I was just always wrong.
That is very funny.
Yeah.
That's a really good recurring bit. A child who loves maps but cannot read them.
Yeah.
Yeah, take a left here. It's north, isn't it? Yeah. Never mind.
West is left, right?
Right. I keep thinking
North
of
is
up,
up.
down. That's not a thing.
Yeah, go up.
Right or left? According to I don't mean God. I really do not mean to make fun of my mom too much. But she's bad with directions.
This dumb bitch. Okay.
She claimed, hey, okay. If you're
Wow.
listening, I'm sorry.
She'll never. What's she gonna do about it?
I hope she hears it. and
What's
gets
she
really
gonna
mad at
do
you.
about
And then
it?
when she comes on the show,
My mom's gonna take her to task.
She's gonna go. I mean, she is not a COVID denialist, but maybe she will go full 180 Rogan style. Like that's the kind of podcast she'll
She's gonna
have.
collect diseases and spit in my mouth.
Yeah, she's gonna be getting inked on air, just getting tatted up. But she says she's bad with directions, and she says it's because she's from New York, so she says it's a New York thing.
yeah,
And she's like,
I'm walking here and I have no idea where I'm going.
I'm confused.
yeah, she's like, nobody in New York talks about east, south, northwest. Nobody talks like what?
The neighborhoods are named like
Right.
Upper East Side.
One question, buddy. Where am I right now?
You might think about that more here
It's
than other
probably
places.
like the most map-oriented city in the country. It's on a grid.
I mean, yes, I do kind of know what because like outside of the city limits, I don't know what the like I don't really I don't think about the compass very much.
No, it's confusing when you're
Yeah.
like, Elm is south of Birch.
Right.
What? Yeah.
But there are people who do who
Yeah.
are New Yorkers.
Real special figures. The one time I've been in shock was at the Comedians football game of 2016.
2015. I remember this.
2015. And I tripped and fell into the back of comedian Joseph Roberts' head and knocked my front two teeth all the way back into my mouth in a way that snapped the nerve.
God.
So I didn't even feel it, but I got up and people kept looking at me and screaming because my face looked like a bloody hole with my teeth missing. And then there were 40 people screaming, and then one of them took me away. And they managed to just pop them back in. And shout out to the emergency dentist. while I was still under my parents' health insurance plan.
Massachusetts. Someone's face and be like, kickball, motherfucker.
My team did end up winning. It's always weird which comedians are like athletic and like, that's not what we do. That's not what any of us are here for.
I've heard you tell that story before, but it always makes me like cringe a little bit when you talk about your teeth snapping.
You should have seen it.
God,
I saw it.
dang.
I saw the aftermath.
Yeah.
It was nasty. But you looked totally unaffected.
Thank
by
you.
the thing.
I didn't feel it at all. I do realize we put this as the album art once for an episode, so I've definitely discussed this on the show before.
Right.
And you know what? It's better the second time.
Well,
One symptom of polio is a forgetful memory, and that's what we're experiencing today.
Oh no, do you have it?
I think I have it.
Well, it's good that we have a polio podcast. We need to have one person that actually has it.
I'm going to get the Walgreens over-the-counter polio test, and then I'm not going to do, like, the advanced one. You know? Like, I don't want to pay a lot of money for my polio test.
So is it penetrating people who are vaccinated against it?
No.
No, it's only people who are not vaccinated.
They, like, found it this morning. So I don't know.
No, I think COVID is the first thing where that like didn't work. Because before COVID, vaccines were understood to not get you the thing that you're vaccinated for. And then remember when like everyone got vaccinated and it was just like, oh, I got it anyway.
Yeah.
And then they had to come out and Fauci's like, yeah, so this vaccine doesn't work. But you should get it anyway.
The thing is, these suck and they are shit.
They like had to
go get one,
like rewrite reality kind of and be like, look, there's a new rule here, which is that vaccine's a strong word. Like it's
a hard sound.
I mean, is that because they just did not have enough time to make like a perfect vaccine?
I don't fucking know what's going on, man.
I mean, it does help. You should be clear.
You
it does
should go get one.
It impedes the virus.
Be like Andrew's mom and get your vaccine today.
Yes.
Yeah, no, this is not a stupid anti-vax show. This is a vax.
This
realism.
is a stupid vaccinated show.
This is
No, it's like you have to get it, and then COVID is so strong that it's like it might make it over the fence anyway. But
I know what Andrew's talking about though, because there's like if this was like the Joe Rogan podcast, it'd be like antibiotic resistant bacteria. They're in the sewer and.
Yeah.
They've been feeding off of our stuff. And then we'd have like a Dutch scientist on who's like, that's right, Joe.
Yeah, some
and
guy.
it makes you gay.
I've had an inoculation. Aaron Rodgers had an inoculation. Remember this? He was asked, are you vaccinated? And everyone thought he was vaccinated for like months because they asked him and he was like, I've had an inoculation. And what that actually meant was some weird like spirit fucking bomb that he like.
He did a spirit bomb?
He did some weird like compound, which I take weird ass vitamins and shit, but you also have to do the vaccine and the full on.
Right.
I've had a sensu bean.
Yeah.
I was at low health, but now I'm back and I've snapped my arm back into place.
And now the Vikings quarterback, Kirk Cousins, religious nut idiot. He refused to get vaccinated, and he kept saying like, "Oh, I think it's a personal decision." But like, why aren't you getting vaccinated? It's a personal decision, which is not true.
Why are you personally not getting vaccinated? Like, what is that?
I don't believe in love.
Yeah, but if it's not a personal decision, it affects everyone around you. And like, he literally had to do a bubble boy routine and like wall himself off from his teammates, and he finally has COVID. And
what
I can't say I'm sad about it.
What would the personal reason even be? People say that all the time, and it's like, I live in love with COVID. Like, what do you mean personal?
Shots hurt me. I don't like getting them, and they hurt me.
What's like, I would bet, because he's a missionary son, so I would bet that he's vaccinated against other stuff, like foreign diseases when you go to a foreign country.
Oh, yeah.
But for some reason, having something to do with the era we're in, it's now politicized.
Because everything's political.
Yeah.
Well, you know who else is vaccinated? It's former president and thought leader Donald J. Trump.
Oh, hell yeah. He's like super vaccinated.
Who is now the healthiest man in America due to the slew of chemicals he's been on since September 2020.
Oh, man. It must be so fun to be him. Or just to be that high level where you just get to like wake up and shower and like human growth hormone and shit.
Well, some days it's fun, Jake. And then other days you're raided by the Federal Bureau of Intelligence.
Yeah, but you're full of HGH, so you're ready for it.
Yeah, you're ready to fight them off hand to hand.
Dark days.
Yeah, Donald Trump's house in Mar-a-Lago, it was raided, which means I think gentlemen came and asked if they could, like, get a box from his house.
The same thing happened to me. You know?
Yeah. I don't think they probably intimidated Donald Trump the way they intimidated you. They weren't like, what do you know about the DSA, Donald Trump? And he's like, I don't know what it is. What do you think Donald Trump thinks of the DSA?
He kind of mentioned it in one of the State of the Unions.
He does a lot of like live performance. I bet he stays up on topical stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he said we are disturbed by the rise of socialism.
Right. And Antifas.
Yeah.
They're under the umbrella category of Antifas. And he probably had to talk to the FBI about Antifas for a while. Uh-huh. And so like no one knew what they were there for at his house for a few days. And like no one asked. Famously, Adam Scott went online and said, I've waited 2 days. Or, you know what? I don't even want to fuck this up. It's a really good quote.
Adam Scott?
Look it up.
The Dilbert guy.
Scott Simon? Or no, it's funny.
Seth Simons.
But yeah, in my brain right now, running around in a circle is Seth Simon, Scott Simon, Scott Stapp, Dilbert guy, and Adam Schiff.
Okay, Scott
Adam
Adams.
Smith.
Scott Adams.
Yeah, Adam Scott is like that guy, the actor, right?
Yes.
No, didn't he invent capitalism?
No, that's Adam
That's
Smith. What the
Shit!
fuck is happening? We all have polio, and it's doing this to our brains.
You shouldn't record with polio. You'll think Adam Scott invented capitalism.
Wait, Adam Scott's
Scott.
the Severance guy, right?
Yeah, The Wealth of Nations.
Wait, hold on, I got
No,
it.
that's Adam Smith.
It's a show that Adam Scott's on.
This is from
I'm kidding.
This is from Thursday. This is from Thursday. Scott Adams. I've waited 2 days for my government to justify an FBI raid on a former president's home. I think that was fair-minded of me. No justification has been offered. The presumption of innocence of the government and FBI can now be removed from the option set. Phase 2 begins.
What the? This is the
Scott
Dilbert
Adams
guy?
has initiated Phase 2.
I thought Pete Buttigieg said we were in phase 5 like 3 years ago.
The next arc of Dilbert is going to be a reckoning for all of the security forces of the United States.
The presumption of innocence.
Phase
What?
2.
So that's... But they're not the ones on...
Their innocence has been removed from the option set.
I wish this was... You could do this to law enforcement if you
You
get...
can remove their innocence.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're...
If you come for me, I will remove your innocence.
Dilbert guys.
He just like has everyone's daughter at his house. That's what this sounds like.
Oh, man. Well, there's a funny new thing this
Didn't
week.
want to do this. I wanted to draw Dilbert.
There is like a funny new thing this week where all the chuds are like all the Marjorie Taylor Greens and shit are like into abolishing the FBI, which is like, you know, one of those accidentally based things.
Yeah, like a
You're
defund style moment.
yeah, it's cool.
We're gonna do a lot more of federal like social workers kind of things. Like you go to like a serial killer's house and you're like, when did you start wanting to serial kill? When did you? Yeah, you're tricking mass shooters into doing it with just like a guy who works for the city.
Yeah, do you want a social worker tricking teenagers into doing terrorism? Is that the world you want to live in?
You get a lot more apologies while the gunfire's going off.
You want a social worker assassinating Martin Luther King with a clipboard?
Okay, yeah, so Scott Adams has declared Phase 2, and then part of Phase 2 is some guy who posts on Truth Social a lot just, like, declared open war on the FBI and, like, went to go shoot up an office in Cincinnati.
Nice.
What the fuck?
He just, like, went there with a gun and started... I think, like, they saw him and scared him away, and then he ran away and the police chased him, and they started shooting at the police, and then they murdered him.
Oh, so
It
he's
took, like, all day.
he's dead.
Yeah, if you try to
okay.
hunt the FBI, I don't think your odds are, like, that good, actually,
Damn.
on a single... I mean, maybe there's a right way to do it.
Do you think you could take down the FBI individually? You don't get to use us.
I don't get to use you.
No, one
I don't get
person
to use-
versus the FBI.
I don't get the asset of Jake Flores on my side as I wage war.
You would need dirt to take him down. That's how they kind of... So
You would need dirt.
the original FBI...
Your Honor, you would need dirt.
It's always been about anti-communism because J. Edgar Hoover was like the first Red Scare, Palmer raids. He was behind that. That's part of the justification for the FBI. But early on, they would investigate and try to take down bank robbers. And I think maybe bootleggers.
No, bootlegging was a big part of it. It was like a
Yeah.
prohibition thing.
Yeah, that was at first, yeah. But then in like the 50s or 60s, they were like, when the mob was like a major player in American life, they were supposedly going after the mob. J. Edgar Hoover says, though, at a certain point in the 50s, there is no mafia. There's like, it's not a serious thing, which is something you can say today.
I made
right?
it up for attention.
That's what he kind of wanted it to sound like. He's like, it's a sensational. But back then, they were everywhere. The mob was like a huge. And the reason why is because they, at one of their hotels, a resort that was owned by a mobster, I forget who, they hid a camera in J. Edgar Hoover's room when he was staying there and photographed him having gay sex with his
That'll
boyfriend.
do it.
And so they showed him, we have this on you.
It's a system that works.
Yeah. We can either release this to the public or you can dine for free at our resorts and stay there for free for the rest of your life.
That's an incredible deal.
If you don't go after the mafia.
Take the deal. Take the deal.
Yeah, he
That's an
took the deal.
incredible
And he
deal.
went after the left. That's what the FBI all they did basically for like 30, 40 years.
Mr.
Yeah.
Hoover, if you leave this open, Scott Adams will have videos of gay sex of everyone in your department by the end of the week. Phase 2 has begun.
Phase 2.
Wait, there's one more detail I need to get in here, which is, okay, so before this guy was murdered, you're wondering, how do we know for sure that this isn't, just made up by the FBI as an execution or whatever? Well, he posted on Truth Social before they killed him, well, and I quote, "Well, I thought I had a way through bulletproof glass and I didn't. If you don't hear from me, it is true I tried attacking the FBI, and it'll mean either I was taken off the internet, the FBI got me, or they sent the regular cops while." And then the post ends mid-sentence, because I guess he was like, "They're after me." And it's like, Send.
Just as good as dead to be taken offline.
Truth Social sounds like a very freeing platform. Like people just shoot out anything on there.
Man, I gotta get on there.
You got to get on there.
I keep forgetting it exists, but it seems like such a no-brainer. Like,
The thing is, it
Worse
seems
Twitter.
like the most spam-attracting website you could possibly put your email into, and I don't want to get more
well, the right wing is all people constantly trying to scam each other, but they believe that that's how the economy works. So everything they make is just fucking bananas like that.
Well, it's all grifters trying to sell blankets or whatever, or their special pillow they made. I've talked about this on the show before, but one of the Ballin' Out Super listeners has, as a joke, signed us up for every Donald Trump email there is. And so every week I get 20 emails from Donald Trump trying to get me to buy fancy pictures from him.
Like NFTs?
No, signed portraits of him. And they're written maybe he wrote it, but there's no way he did. But it's trying to trick your grandma into thinking Donald Trump's written me an email.
Yeah.
He needs my support.
Someone struggling to write in his voice.
Yeah. Okay, no, there was a really good one. I might have already deleted it, but it was by Donald Trump Jr. today. And it was I need you to help my dad. And it was there's no way this fucking guy wrote it.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah. You know what may be even better is the actual reason that has been released to the public that they raided Donald Trump's house is that he has nuclear secrets
What?
at his house.
Okay, catch me up. I've been out of town all week. I have no idea what's happening. Polio's back, and he has nuclear secrets.
He's keeping the secrets by his bed for later.
Well, they're after documents, and it's been leaked that it's nuclear secrets. My paranoid...
I don't know what that means, but it can't be good.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, he doesn't have access to the device that would shoot the nukes, right? He just has...
He's just a man you can't trust with a secret.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Well, that's amazing is that he has not divulged more. I mean, I get they probably stonewalled him on basically every state secret out there.
We got little ones in Ukraine. I wasn't supposed to say it, but I said it.
But it's possible that maybe in the suitcase maybe he is saving some serious dirt as collateral.
I mean, that's definitely what he was trying to do, this dumb piece of shit. But then they were like, wait, you're the president. Everything you do is monitored or whatever. It is like, what year is it? It's August 2022. How are they just now getting around to this?
I guess you got to have... Well,
you scared the cat.
The cat is on the table and my alarm clock just went off.
According to A.G. Garlic, as I like to call him, they tried every other avenue to get it back from him. So there's like long, back and forth cease and desist letters and shit, and like requests. They put in timely requests and all that.
So they kept leaving the FBI on red until they sent guys to his house.
Yeah,
is what happened.
Yeah,
that's very alpha. He's the most alpha man we have. Waffles, I swear to God, if you disconnect my headphones right now.
Insane.
Waffles, sitting on the wires,
sitting on the mixer.
Well, it's fine.
It's a chair to him.
We need to compromise with Waffles because he can single-handedly shut this whole thing down.
He's a tough cat. This episode is mixed by Waffles. So if it sounds like shit, blame him.
He's having a time right now. So he's licking a cord. I believe that cats, to us, like we watch TV or read a book, listen to something. That's their version of licking and smelling things. So right now he's engrossed in some like journey.
He's engrossed
by smelling things?
Yeah. Yeah, that's their version of TV.
Yeah, that's true. You don't need to leave the TV on for the cats because they can smell things.
Right. They're just having fun.
They're just having fun. He's just having fun, but you can't touch him at a certain point because he does get sharp.
Do you think there's like a cat version of Infinite Jest? Like, oh, you never finished smelling that enormous sofa or something like that?
Yeah, I do think that.
Yeah, I do think that as well. No further comment, but I think that
definitely.
Pretty strongly.
I definitely think that. I think that insane thing that you just sort of made up within the premise of another thing you made up.
One of my first icebreakers when I'm on a date, if I'm single again, will be like, yeah, I do think there's a cat version of Infinite Jest, and it's like a big couch.
Where are you going?
Big couches are cat's version of Infinite Jest. Where were you born?
I mean, it's a tough smell, but it's worth it when you get to the end.
That was
final smell.
Insane question because it's in part 2 of an improvisational You've made up a set of rules and then made up a thing in that.
Am I I don't think I'm the first person to posit this.
And he's not the first person to posit it.
I mean, many cats have posited it and communicated this to me with their eyes, but...
Many cats are saying this.
It would have to be a fold-out couch, I guess, because you have to wait until it's folded out and then smell it while it's folded out, and then you only have a limited time, so that's why it's so hard to finish.
Of course.
And then once you get to the end...
This makes total sense.
Once you get to the end, all the smells are complete, and it's beautiful. Is what I hear about Infinite Jest. I've not finished it.
They do smell pretty fast. It's not like taking a cat all day to smell a couch.
Yeah, but you smell, you re-smell, you lick.
Waffles, what are you smelling right now?
It's a whole sensorial experience.
Well,
would you recommend a couch for me, Waffles? What should I smell?
You can take him to the store. Hold on, we're working on it. Is this your cat, sir? No, it's my friend's cat.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Donald Trump has released a statement on the raid. He says, President Barack Hussein Obama kept 33 million pages of documents, much of them classified. How many of them pertain to nuclear? Word is, lots!
I love how the way he constructs sentences. Like he'll say pertain to nuclear, or he'll say I'm very big on environmental, or I'm big.
Yeah, remember cyber? We're doing a lot in cyber.
Yeah.
He deconstructs the language in a way that a leader should.
Yeah.
Also, notice the subtle Hussein at the beginning.
That's right. Classic.
He's reaching back for the old weapons here.
Yeah.
It's a sign of a desperate man.
Dude, he's so crazy. I completely forgot that his original thing was being angry at Obama. That's so far in the past.
Before he even decided he wanted to enter politics. Wait, this has reminded me just because of how badly it seems like Donald Trump wants to go to jail all the time. Elon Musk did an interview earlier this week where I guess he just admitted Hyperloop was not about actually building anything. It was just like getting California to cancel plans for high-speed rail, which is like, that's gotta be a crime saying that to the media in some way, right? Like, you got a lot of government funding to do this shit.
What is it? Why is he against high-speed rail? For his cars? Because
he says he doesn't like them because you're surrounded by strangers, including possible serial killers.
He has reverse autism.
I mean, that's an interesting contradiction because the
unvaccinated.
train is seen as the autism, for sort of emblem, but you do have to interact and be around strangers.
If you weren't vaccinated, you would need a private train, which is what Hyperloop is, that just shoots you through a tube, and that's what he was trying to invent.
Okay, I get it. I guess that is more autistic.
Anyway, this man is has never heard of jail. He doesn't know what jail is. He's just admitting to crimes on the internet. Best of luck to our friend Elon Musk. Keep it up, King.
Lonnie.
Son
of a gun.
We're anti-vax, polio, pro Elon Musk podcast now.
Is he vaxxed? Did you say that? He's not vaxxed?
Who knows?
I said he's not vaxxed, but I kind of just
made it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seems like something he would make a Broadway show out of, but
Revealing my secrets on air.
he either is not vaxxed or has got all of the vaccines before we even knew what COVID was. He has vaccines for diseases that don't even exist yet.
Anti-vaxxers have these weird conspiracy theories about the rich being behind the vaccine thing. And the theory is that, they turn us all into we have to keep purchasing this product from Big Pharma or whatever. It wouldn't make any sense for the richest man in the world to be they're trying to do this. He has all the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I guess he still could have a dumb theory about pharma, but
well, yeah, they think. I mean, that's when it becomes an anti-Semitic thing. It's elites. I'm an elite, but I'm not the elite who controls the world. It's a different type of elite, if you know what I mean.
I hang out with every now and then.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring it up. It seems rude. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a vaccine for something he's guessing he'd run into on Mars.
Right.
Yeah.
I would assume you would need some sort of shot for going into space, but
well, the fun thing about space is it makes everyone sick when they go up there, but no one understands why.
That's awesome.
Whenever all the astronauts get back, they throw up for a week, and they're like, no one knows what that was.
Well, what I'm wondering,
space sickness.
What I'm wondering, and here's my little in my 30s now, I am developing conspiratorial thinking.
In my conspiratorial era,
yeah, does the suitcase, does the briefcase, the files, do they contain a little more than nuclear secrets? Are there other secrets about what you just mentioned?
Documents.
Space.
I need to see the documents.
Yeah.
About space
and the things that are in space.
Aliens.
Yeah. I mean, whatever's
Hell
making
yeah.
people sick.
Many documents on spatial.
Yeah.
That he can say.
Yeah.
Spatial can mean anything.
He got raided by Mulder and Scully.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
the weirdest episode.
And then to cover up for the media's don't worry, it's just nuclear secrets.
Well, that's the limited hangout.
Yeah.
They gave us, that's the little bit they gave us to cover up the real shit.
God.
Aliens.
Oh my God. Are you mad you missed the aliens episode?
I'm furious.
okay, we'll do another one.
We just need to do more episodes where we're both on vacation and are fucking, I don't know, aliens.
Well, I got on a kick because there is this, and I can't prove that it's not real. It's this, the thing about testimony, and this is what drives me crazy with the UFO alien abduction stuff, is it's not provable or disprovable, but I'm realizing the same thing is kind of true of documents, because there's a guy who wrote a book claiming that Eisenhower met with aliens, and he has ascertained a document, a presidential memo that was given to George H.W. Bush that said, yeah, Ike met with aliens in the 50s. And we can't prove or disprove that document either, because it's just a piece of paper,
Did Waffles disconnect your
Waffles
headphones?
fucked up my headphones.
Yeah, that's gonna. Well, I still hear it, and you all sound great.
Damn it.
As long as one of us is hearing the podcast.
Ow! I tried
Yeah,
to
no,
go
he's
back and
really. You gotta just stay away from him.
tried to go fix
It's not safe to go over there.
cable, and he fucking got me.
You just need to let it go. You can't listen to the podcast.
All
He
right,
wants to be
fine.
part of the podcast. Maybe he understands what
It's
we're
just
saying.
genuinely not safe to go over there.
That was so. He was like, "Stop it!"
Well, you know who else had
photograph this.
access to secrets was Salman Rushdie, who has recently been stabbed
Yeah, in the neck.
in the neck.
Right. I don't know.
I have no more details on that.
Yeah,
Isn't
I
that
don't know.
crazy?
I don't know how he's doing. I know.
How's he doing?
I'm going to predict that we're going to see, and not to make too much light of this, but we're going to see some illustration of Anne Hesh and Salman Rushdie in heaven. I don't know what they're going to be doing together, but that always
Right.
happens when like 2-3 famous people die at the same time.
Wait, is he dead?
He might.
I mean, like RGB and the Black Panther guy at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's okay, but I don't want to speak too soon. But it looks like Anne Hesh, sadly, is on the way out.
Damn.
But yeah, I don't know. He got stabbed in the neck. It's hard to recover from that. But I think it's too soon to say anything definitively.
Maybe it's just a little bit.
I mean, you're not. Why are we listening to you?
This is
I'm
an
an expert.
incredible episode for medical advice from this podcast.
Why would you know?
Pretty tough. That's a tough one.
From what I have read, neck stabbings are not good.
Yeah, a lot of blood in there. A lot
Right.
of key documents in the neck.
It's almost like getting your teeth popped.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Which is not that bad because you can pop those right back in.
Fucking just pop. Oh,
Just
horrible
pop
word
them
for
back
that.
in. Well, that's what happened.
Jesus.
And so we hope Salman Rushdie will have his neck popped back in soon, and he will be okay.
Well, hopefully he's okay. It is, it is kind of, people are bringing this up a lot, and he is, I would not call him ugly.
Okay.
He's an older gentleman.
This is a man who's recently been stabbed in the neck. Continue.
Well, people are pointing this out, and this is like a long-standing fact about him, is he manages to, because of the fatwa, the danger aspects.
Andrew, stop performing by looking around. You got to talk into the mic. I know I'm the only one with headphones now, so I'm just reminding you.
He has dated some beautiful women.
Oh, okay. So
know
he's
what
like
I
the
mean?
Jerry Seinfeld of...
He was on Seinfeld.
Oh,
You remember
yeah,
that
I
episode?
remember that. He's like the Jerry Seinfeld of publishing about Islam.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that gets you, just the... I don't know
does
why
he
that's
do it?
attractive to people.
He has secrets.
Yeah, you would
Women
think like
love secrets.
evolutionarily you would be attracted to someone who being around them will make you feel safe.
I'm
but
Googling
there are a lot of people
Salman Rushdie
who...
girlfriend.
I mean...
But people are attracted to danger.
Right.
It's exciting,
That's true.
Which
I
is
guess
a
it's-
very real thing, as we're learning now.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, if
Kathy
you get
Hochul.
stabbed in the neck, dude, you get tons of pussy.
Oh, my
People are like,
God.
this guy's so dangerous.
Yeah, everyone wants to kiss you, but you're like, stay away, my neck. My neck is not healed. You can't kiss me.
According
Afraid of
to
everyone.
according to Kathy Hochul, she's chiming in on this, who also dated him.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh God, I believe that.
A state trooper stood up and saved Rushdie's life. So he's
Okay.
alive. He's being helicoptered to a hospital. This was at the Chautauqua Institute.
This man has a real head that has stayed the same for like 30 years. He's one of those guys who turns like 25 and looks like how he's going to look for the rest of his life. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is,
I'm
again,
like that.
not to disparage this beautiful and injured man.
Yeah.
Get well soon.
Not necessarily a fan of his work, but it's
It's just in the news.
yeah.
You just
We're
gotta
just
say-
coming.
we're just
We
here
hope
to
he's
tell
okay.
the goddamn news for once.
Yeah.
If that's not illegal. Under-
Yeah, he got stabbed in the neck, and also I think he's a hack. He sucks.
And also he's ugly and his girlfriend's too good for him, but we wish him the best. Here he is. Is this him and Olivia Wilde? What the fuck is going on? No, we can't talk about this anymore.
Okay.
There is a lot to talk about, though. But, okay, yeah, the IRA passed, which is not the Irish Republican Army. It's a new thing where the government says windmills, we'll build one windmill, but then you can build a pipeline through a seal mountain
This is a bad bill, right? I didn't really read much about it. I heard.
From what I gleaned, it's like not good, and oil companies love it, but then they passed a bunch of amendments to make it better. Is that the long and short?
The amendments, so people were really mad at Bernie because they had...
he said it sucked.
R.I.P. Anne Hesh, by the way.
Yeah. Did she just die?
She's officially gone.
This is live breaking news.
Yeah.
Tragically stabbed in the neck to death.
Speaking of aliens, she actually, I saw an interview with her. She was in a cult and she thought she was like part alien or something like that.
Back to the IRA.
All right. So she's no longer, or she was, at the time of her death, she was not in the cult. But so the amendments Bernie introduced to like bring back the popular good stuff.
Right.
And to not do just giveaways to oil and gas companies in what's supposed to be a climate bill.
Yes.
And everybody got really mad at him. Like other senators voted against it. Democrats who said, "Oh, I support this stuff, but I'm voting it down just because we need to get the bill passed." Because everything revolves around Manchin and cinema. And people were blaming him and saying like, well, this is bad for vulnerable Democrats because they're going to have to vote against things that they're actually in support of. You know who also introduced an amendment to close the Medicaid gap? Raphael Warnock, who is up for re-election in a few months in Georgia.
Okay.
And he's going to the floor trying to add stuff to the bill to make it better. Nobody's mad at him.
Nobody gives a shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also just like with the cinema and Manchin. It's like, well, why are you not furious about what they're doing? They're just like allowed to do this thing they do all the time.
Oh, we've entirely given this process over to a coal monarch who lives in the middle of the country like a fucking hail demon who just runs our country somehow.
Right. So from what I heard, it's a lot of it doesn't go into effect until 2026. And depending on the numbers, and there's a lot of different ways to read los números, which means numbers in Spanish, in Espanol.
In Espanol.
It would put us on the track to lower carbon emissions, I think, but that depends on the number, how you read the numbers. And it also depends on, do we add to this, do we amend it in the time that before it's implemented?
It's a crazy situation, right? Because as we break all these heat records and the Earth becomes more and more unlivable, the question is not like, are we on track to later get to close to where our objectives are? It's like, full stop, we're approaching a cliff at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Can you stop the car? The general reaction that I've seen so far from it is that oil companies and executives are fine with it because there's lots of giveaways
goodies
for them and goodies that will benefit their businesses. But then also, I was reading Matt Huber's page, who we had on a few months ago. Check that out. But there are lots of giveaways to renewable nonprofits and stuff like that. So those companies will make more windmills and shit. And then the part that all the rich people are mad about is a lot of this is funded through increasing taxes on the super rich. So that is the bare minimum of what we can ask of the liberal coalition government, and I guess they're pushing through on that end of it, which is good.
Yeah.
It's still better that this passed than if it didn't, but it is also a really low bar,
right?
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's better than nothing, which is the best thing you can say about it. I mean, and also I believe in the private market, there's a strong possibility that it will lower prescription drug prices, and there are pharmaceutical companies that are mad about that. However, it does not allow Medicare to do bulk negotiations. So you're going to have regular consumers paying less than Medicare patients. But
yeah, it's just kind of the thing of how much duct tape can we put on this house?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The thing that really disappointed me that was not in it, that Bernie tried to get in through an amendment, and I was, not totally surprised, but I thought at least maybe they can do this, is the Climate Conservation Corps, which would have been underfunded in his amendment and in Build Back Better, and he was upfront about that. But just to have some public investment in
a green transition.
Yeah. And in jobs that people have that pay well and pay them to transition the economy away from fossil fuels.
And
That's
so that
just that
is
symbolic
in
power
there,
of
though?
that. No, it's not because he introduced the amendment, and they're
Great.
like, absolutely not.
Awesome. I love not even having like the idea of a thing that could work.
Yeah.
Present in this bill, but it's great for Joe Manchin. So kudos to Joe. You're our real last dude of the week.
I believe it still has to pass the House, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe they'll spruce it up a little bit, but
Okay, we'll check.
probably not. And that's the thing is like, well, they'll just say, "Oh, Manchin's not going to agree to that."
Okay, we have two more things we wanted to get to before the end here, and one is, it involves a brush with death from one of our co-hosts, and a lesson therein.
Oh yeah, I almost got. Oh well, yeah, I spoke about a bike accident at the front of the show. I had one kind of last night, and
Damn,
it brings
violent
up,
episode.
People are
Yeah.
after Anders.
That's the thing
For his truth.
do people who drive get in accidents?
Yes.
As often as me. That's what I'm wondering. I mean, it's usually about several years between each thing.
Okay.
Many of them have been my fault, but this one was not. A car just like pulled out right in front of me, and I was listening to "Love Will Tear Us Apart" by
Nice.
whatchamacallit, the
Joy Division?
Joy Division, yeah. And
Great song to
this
die
brings up an issue dear to my heart.
Definitely cool.
Before anybody, and I'm doing this preemptively because I know people are thinking this, and I'm already one step ahead of you, is no, if I was riding without listening to it, that would not have made a difference. This is every cyclist, biker's right, is to listen to audio while you're on your bike.
Is this like Anders' hot take of the week?
Yes.
Okay, I agree. I listen to music while I'm biking, and I just you just don't listen to like entirely noise canceling black metal or
Right.
whatever, and you can fucking hear shit around you. It's stupid. That's one of those things that I think people that don't actually bike are really fucking stringent about, because it's one of the first things they tell you when you start like biking and shit.
Right, because you suck at biking. Is why.
It's in the little handbook you get at driver's ed that you actually, just like driving, there's a lot of stuff you don't actually do every
Right.
time you fucking move or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the comparison is obviously like, yeah, I guess you also shouldn't blast music from your car either, but
Right.
everyone does that all the time.
Yeah, and even without music, your car is a sensory deprivation tank. Like
Yeah.
even with headphones, you hear so much more than a person in a car listening to nothing with the windows rolled up.
Yeah.
Like and also like I when I've been had issues with people and accidents and stuff, there has not been one time where it's had anything to do with hearing. It's all based on vision, people not looking. Like you should not make decisions when you're biking, driving based on what you hear.
Yeah,
You should do it based on what you see.
People get accidents because they're like texting while they're driving
Yeah.
and shit. Because when you look at your phone, you're like sucked into it. But like listening to something doesn't take your visual attention away like
Right.
that at all.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you, Anders' hot take of the week.
If you're texting while biking,
Don't
you're
do that.
asking for it.
Yeah, don't
You're
do that.
asking for it.
Maybe if you're
Could end
audio
up in a body
texting,
bag.
it's not a good idea. Maybe if you're audio texting while
Can
biking,
people
then it'd
do?
be okay.
Is that a thing?
Like voice to text.
Voice to text,
Don't do
yeah.
that. That's
No,
stupid.
probably a
just
bad
don't do
idea.
that and your text isn't going to come out right.
Yeah, fire.
I tried to do that on the way here, and I realized I was looking at my phone for like a full like 30 seconds, and just went, "Oh my god, what am I doing?"
I'm going 30 miles an hour this whole time.
But that's the thing. People always say when I have like an altercation with somebody, like a driver, sometimes another cyclist, they'll be like, next time don't use the headphones. Well, but it's like nothing. And at no point has that ever had any relevance to the issue we had. But for some
sick.
reason, it's like stuck in people's brains that this is a
It's
thing.
sick, and it comes from a place of car privilege too.
Yes.
These people, they get in their tanks and they drive around, and they don't consider that they all have little death machines on them that are just like putting us all at their whims all the time.
True. You ever drive a car though, and then immediately like get angry on the other side of this argument?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you're just like, I'm the hypocrite. No matter
It's
whatever
the
I'm
most
doing.
popular thing to do.
I mean,
is to
there are
drive a
people.
car and want to kill the bicyclists.
Yeah.
There are people who bike like idiots. That is true. Who like go right out into the middle of the. Even if there's a red light and there's traffic, they'll go right into the middle of the intersection, and that is dumb and annoying. But like that is again nothing to do with headphones.
Friend of the show, Danny Feltz, told me the second concealed carry thing got like undone by the Supreme Court. Is like, oh, I'm gonna like kick somebody's car and they're going to pull a gun out and kill me now.
Yeah.
So there are powerful bicyclists out there, and
I mean, you don't
stay safe.
You don't know that when you see a dumb biker like doing some stupid shit, going through a red light when there's traffic. You don't personally know that it's not because they're listening to 100 Gex and fucking getting really into it, or they're just, you can imagine. Well, this is an unanswerable question. Next time you get, fucking cut off by some dumbass on a bike, he could be like, I was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar. Like, impossible to know,
And
I mean,
never know.
there are certain songs that when you're listening to, it's hard to stop because you want to keep the feeling of biking while listening to the song. But that's also true of cars. That's true of walking.
Don't you want me?
Yeah.
Don't you want me, baby? Don't you want? I can't remember.
Don't you want me, bicyclist?
Yeah.
Don't you want me, bicyclists?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there should be a ban on listening to these great songs while riding your little bike. And these are things that have to be solved on a local level. And now to talk to us about local New York politics for a minute at the end here, Anders has some wonderful stories about some state Senate races coming up.
Why did we talk about that on the podcast?
The bike, I don't know. I just threw
Before
it out
you got
there.
here, Anders was like, and I have something to say about biking with headphones in.
Fuck it.
And I wrote it on the list. And then I segued to it, and we did it.
All right.
And I think we should say it. This is probably like the most people bike messenger listening to podcast in America.
That's true.
People are probably listening to this on their bikes right now, pumping their fists and getting hit.
Statistically, someone got into an accident while listening to this.
Yeah.
And that's super ironic for them.
Hope
That's
you're
math.
okay.
But yeah, so state Senate races.
Yeah, we got New York. This is not super uncommon. We were trying to do this less of splitting primaries into like 2 or 3 a year, which is crazy. And you remember 2018 federal primary was in June when AOC won, and then there was like that weird interregnum before the state level primaries.
It's a little niche, but it's good. Keep listening.
But this year, because of the Supreme Court bombed the election maps, the state Supreme Court.
What does that mean?
So there were so every 10 years they have to redraw all the electoral districts or like the state and Senate or Senate and House districts, and the Republicans challenge every time, and this time the challenge actually won because of this fucking judge that Democrats, a few progressive Democrats, voted in New York State, and so that judge went with the Republican challenge, so they had to throw out all the state Senate maps. So the primary got pushed from
Somewhere
June.
Child Anders is crying as all the maps are thrown away.
Right, yeah. The primary got pushed for state Senate and U.S. House. It's completely random and arbitrary, but it got pushed to August. So we have a couple big state Senate elections and some House elections too, U.S. House. But there are 2 DSA candidates who are running in New York City. One is KG, Kristen Gonzalez, who has been backed by several labor unions.
Not related to Tenacious D's KG.
We don't know that. I wouldn't want to.
I guess we don't know that, but I'm putting money down that she's unrelated to KG.
Me and KG to vote your fucking socks off.
Yep, that's right. Okay.
But so she's running against a colleague of ours, another podcaster, which is a shame. I'm all for
no Mickey Const.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I am all for joke campaigns, quixotic candidacies.
Is there anything better?
Long shots. Yeah, I love voting for a big loser, but not if they're gonna freaking
fuck up the other underdog campaign.
Right. They have the same policies. They're trying to make an issue out of this COVID thing because Const campaigns, they released a COVID, really a statement, not really a platform, but they released a COVID statement before Gonzalez had put like her healthcare plan on her website, and they're trying to like use that as an issue, like, oh, we're the only campaign who takes COVID seriously.
But it's like, why are you running against the socialist organization's candidate to begin with if
Yeah.
you have all the same fucking policies? You're just splitting the left vote at a local level, which is like the most harmful thing you can do.
Right.
Yeah, that's dumb as hell.
There's no justification for it other than like this idea about like an independent, we need independent elected officials, which is a primarily liberal
Right.
idea that like,
If the year is 1775, this is a hot new idea people are running with for
Yeah.
their local democracies.
Yeah, dude, pundits are just. I think something about like the career of punditry just makes you inevitably dumber or something.
Yeah, no,
Wouldn't
it's
know
an
anything about
attention
that.
thing.
I'm unimpressed by like almost everyone that journalists, like, they start off good and they get Greenwaldy or whatever eventually. Like they're like bananas. They go bad. Like what we're doing here kind of is, I guess we're like pundit adjacent. I try not to get like career invested in this, and I try to maintain like I'm a comedian.
At least just don't run for office.
Yeah.
It's a really low bar.
It's but like, why did that person do that? What the fuck?
we don't know. I'm really scratching my head as to why this race at this time, it's just very odd.
Wrecker shit.
Yeah, but like she'll say, well, DSA is an institution, and the institutional left, that's a problem. Then she even her campaign compared it to Hillary's coronation in 2016, as if that's at all like comparable. Like the DNC circling the wagons around Hillary Clinton is somehow
It feels
comparable to a DSA member getting backed by DSA.
This is what I'm saying about pundits, though. Like, in order to come up with that insane of a take, you have to be someone whose job it is wake up every morning and go, I have to think of a new thing. Like, there aren't that many new things,
Being right
Wake
can
up
be
and
boring.
grind.
That's true. Being
Yeah.
correct about things is not always that interesting.
Yeah, and it's also when it's financially motivated. Like, I think I've been thinking about Russell Brand a lot lately because he like was kind of smart, and if you check up on him every few months, it's just like, oh no, he's got weird vaccine opinions now and shit, and it's because he does a fucking YouTube show where he has to talk for like hours all the time, and like, dude, that's what I'm saying. The most important thing about our stupid show is that we're dumb and we talk about Andrew's weird bike accidents for like 30 minutes instead of like.
That's there for our own good.
Like,
Do not skip past the bike headphone segment.
not everything can be a hot take. It's keeping us sane that we are stupid and that we just talk about bullshit sometimes. Anders, if you become a serious pundit, because you're probably the most pundit of us, you have an actual career. You keep the clown in you, man. You hold on to that clown, because otherwise, man, you're just gonna come up with some crazy idea like we gotta run against. What the fuck is she doing, man?
Yeah.
The second we see Anders trading in for a larger car, he's off of the podcast.
Right. I mean,
Clown, because he's a clown.
Yeah.
Because clowns ride in small cars because he's a clown.
Did you get hit on your bicycle because it's a tiny bicycle and you're a clown?
maybe. I mean, they ride in cars usually. It was actually a clown car.
Clowns don't ride bicycles, Jake.
Yeah, they do.
Great question.
Remember the Simpsons?
Yeah, well, that was a TV. You can't believe everything you read on TV.
You can't believe everything you smell on couches.
You can't believe everything you saw on couches or TV. Let's talk about the other race for a second. 'Cause
So
we're running
yes,
out of time.
I am not going to run for office in New York City. I have been helping out with another campaign. I've been trying to do both, but this has sucked me in. The David Alexis campaign in Flatbush as part of speaking comedy, a Nathan Fielder style bit. I have been recruited to canvass Flatbush as the whitest person in New York City.
Yes.
That is pretty funny. You
The
go out there in
plan?
your big suit.
Send our white clown to Flatbush. How has that been for you?
It's been mostly good.
Okay.
I'm not going to pretend that it isn't ever awkward or
The
funny
tension
to have.
is there.
Yeah, people are like very sort of skeptical of like the whitest person they've ever seen going around and knocking around like in almost exclusively like Haitian Caribbean neighborhoods. But I will say I've had some really great conversations. There are a lot of people who are hungry for change. The thing I have heard the most is politicians are all full of shit. You know, I don't believe anything they say. And it's hard to argue with that.
Well, you mean because it's the truth?
Yeah. But one thing I do think there is value in is building connections with because one of the problems in the last round in June, the left lost a lot of assembly races because that's frankly where a lot of the deficits is in the state assembly. And we didn't win, even though we hit win numbers. So we would get this amount of people who said they're going to vote and they didn't show up. And this time we are really trying to develop relationships with people that last beyond the election, and that will last for non-electoral purposes as well, to sort of build a movement in these places where there's a history of left-wing activism and organizing, but it's been on the decline for a long time. But the opponent in this race is very entertaining. If you just go to his, and this is what I've been telling people who ask, "Oh, who's David running against?" I say, Senator Kevin Parker. Check out his Wikipedia page. Just look on the Wikipedia.
He's been there for like 20 years, right?
Yes. He's a 20-year incumbent.
Because the one thing that I've heard about this guy is that we were doing a fundraiser for David, and then somebody from the neighborhood who I booked was like, I've lived here my entire life, and we've literally never seen this.
Yeah. There was, an anecdote recently. A resident was talking about how every Thanksgiving he gives out turkeys, but he only gives them to his friends. And then when he runs out, he gives people like, $4 chickens. Like, not $4, but like cheap-ass chickens.
Okay.
That suck.
That's funny.
But he is
How about just don't do the thing if you're just going to half-ass it like that?
Yeah. He's a crazy person. He's gotten in several scuffles with people. He... in 2004, he assaulted somebody in an argument, and then the guy ran against him and lost. And then in 2005...
Is there any more details on that?
You would have to look at the Wikipedia. It's not totally clear what happened. He didn't press charges, but he did get in trouble for assaulting a New York City traffic agent... After
multiple assaults.
Yeah. After the traffic agent wrote him a citation for double parking.
Okay.
And then he took a plea deal for anger management classes.
All right.
Also in 2005, he hit and shoved an office manager who was a woman who worked for him, and then threatened her if she went public with the account of what happened.
I mean, whom among us?
Yeah. It had happened at a restaurant, so people like overheard him threatening her.
We have to pay off the staff of Chili's now. Screwed.
Another special assistant, a woman, filed charges in 2008 when he pushed her during an argument, choked her, knocked her eyeglasses off her face, and then intentionally smashed her glasses by stomping on them.
Wow.
This is a woman who works for him.
This man beat up Velma.
He menaced and chased a New York Post photographer, damaged the photographer's car door, broke his finger.
How can you keep getting away with like flagrant stuff like this?
It's amazing.
Like, at some point, is there like a video somewhere?
It's genuinely impressive that he keeps doing this stuff, and it seems like the more he does it, the less accountability there is. But it's
like state senate. Like, are you that untouchable that you can just beat up the fucking traffic cop?
I mean, it's the incumbency. And he even told...
He owns the police.
We need to run an even more violent person against him.
Yeah, I mean, David is into Magic the Gathering, which is violent game.
That's one of the fundraisers.
Wait, what colors does he play?
That's a good question.
We've activated summoners to pursue Kevin Parker.
I need to know before I can vote for David, Alexis, what you play, man.
What genre of
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Gentlemen.
Okay.
I think he might be a switch, but we'll find out.
Well, that's not a thing.
That's not a thing.
Is that not a thing? Okay. So that means
He tops and bottoms in Magic the Gathering.
He's verse.
Okay.
No. There's colors of decks.
Right. There's the environmental and fire and water, right? And earth.
Environmental, fire, and no.
He's
there's
bichromatic.
red, which is goblins and shit.
Right.
Explosives, fire cast things. Blue, which is wizards and intellect, but also sea creatures and merfolk.
And flying.
And flying. And green, which is woodland creatures.
Environmental.
Big giant creatures from the woods, giant spiders and shit.
Right. Are you taking this down?
Black, which is like, vampires and black magic and swamps and evil creatures from the depths of the earth. And white, which is angels and little weird soldier guys and shit.
Right.
Okay.
Did that clear anything up?
I think so. I'll have to do some intel on what he plays and what Kevin Parker plays.
We're looking into environmental. We're going to play a green deck in the upcoming game.
Big creatures. They're the biggest.
I think
I summoned
Parker.
them turn 4.
I think Parker is seeing red, so I think
the
he's playing
biggest
red.
creatures. He would play green.
He would play green.
He would play green.
Donald Trump would play green.
He's
Oh, Trump would play green.
the
Yeah.
biggest creatures.
Kevin Parker would do a red-black burn deck.
Yes.
Totally.
I'm putting my money on it.
He's-
He wants the game to be over.
He says after he assaults a photographer, he's like, I don't think I have an anger issue. And then right after that, a little later in 2010,
It's crazy
he goes-
there are more of these.
he has to be, there's so many. It's insane. So he's has to be restrained by his colleagues because he's screaming and trying to assault Diane Savino, who is another state senator. He calls her a bitch.
Okay.
And then offers to fight her boyfriend, who is another state senator.
Damn.
That's chivalry.
Moving on to so much, I guess. Oh, okay. The most recent one is Biaggi. He's
Yeah, we
improved
gotta wrap
somewhat.
this up. So pick the most violent crime.
He's improved somewhat. He got in an argument with Alessandra Biaggi. He rips off his tie, throws it on the ground in a rage.
Activate phase 2.
And then
Shit.
my favorite is he, as a cyclist, he does something that I hate, which is parks in the bike lane. People treat it like
I hate that
right.
shit.
he treats it.
Not right.
They treat it like a parking spot.
It's literally a bike lane.
Yeah. And people get mad at us for like, oh, you're out of the bike lane. Well, there's like potholes and cars in it. And people just like stand and have conversations in the bike lane and do like
this is a special move of the police.
Yeah.
Fucking insane.
But so he parks in the bike lane. Somebody tweets at him about it. He responds, kill yourself.
Woo! That is a digital threat that is an improvement over throwing someone down the stairs or whatever.
You know what? This guy's kind of winning me over.
We all have flaws. He's now a member of the band Eve 6.
That is insane. It's so violent.
Anyway, he's getting tons of money from
Yes.
conservative Democrats and
Republicans.
we can meet him anyway.
Republicans are backing flyers against David Alexis.
Of course they
And
are.
there's another wrecker spoiler candidate in this race who's smearing David Alexis as the DSA candidate. But it's early voting. By the time you're listening, early voting will have started. So if you're a registered Democrat in Flatbush or Midwood, Canarsie and East Flatbush too, I believe, go out and vote.
What date does early voting start?
Saturday the 13th of
Okay.
August, and
right.
that goes until the 21st, and then the primary election is on the 23rd. But you save a lot of time with early voting. I did it last time; there was no line, and other races, of course. Kristen Gonzalez, please turn up for that. Please donate in candidates to both of these candidates. And also, if you're in my neck of the woods, Jabari Brisport is running for re-election. I believe he is a challenger. So turn out for him as well. We will put links to all the stuff in the show notes.
All right. And that's going to be it for us today. We're going to do our plugs and then post kill yourselves on our enemies' walls. Jake, what are you up to?
I wanted to change what I said about Donald Trump's Magic the Gathering. The more I've thought about it, I think he'd definitely play white because there's all this like golden shit.
No, because he's like, it's playing white isn't it like a more complicated play style though? Like you got to do like cancel damage and like create a board state and stuff.
He wouldn't be good at it. He would he would also buy like a lot of really good, like I play my original holographic Sarah Angel. Look how holographic it is.
She's beautiful.
That is what was in the files.
She's a looker, isn't she?
She dated Salman Rushdie.
I'm not embarrassed to say it. I've been with Sarah Angel.
Yeah, you would get horny for a Sarah Angel. All right. Thank you for coming out to Off With Their Heads the other night. This is a reverse plug. Show already happened. Just bragging because it was a really cool show. We got to open for a band I like.
Sick.
Yeah, I don't really have much else going on, man. It's the summer of I'm not doing shit.
It is.
If I can think of something, I'll plug after you guys. I don't think I
Okay.
have anything.
Andrews, you got anything?
Well, I just did my plug, which is
All right,
Kristen Gonzalez, David
campaigns.
Alexis. You can donate to them, and please volunteer to vote for them as well.
Just follow me on Twitter at Patak Test Kitchen. That is your number one stop for exciting new flavors. And yeah, I guess just kill yourself.
Kill yourself.
I feel like that's something you can't just keep saying on the radio.
Don't do it, please. Do not do that.
Do not do that. And that is what I meant to say, and do not do that. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good. It's finished.